Hello, dear student children. Today we have with us Mr. Fani Madhusudan, who secured All India 7th rank with Computer Science and Information Technology in GATE 2020. Basically, he is from mechanical engineering background, but wrote GATE 2020 with a computer science paper. Let us have a discussion about the success secret and all his strategies. Hi Madhusudan.
Hello, sir.
Okay. First, just briefly tell me about yourself.
Okay, myself Madhusudan, and I have done my BTech Mechanical Engineering in VIT University Vellore. After that, I worked in Infosys for 1.5 years. Then after, I quit my job and I joined ACE Engineering Academy Spark Batch program. And it took me exactly 9 months. I started on May 9th or something, and the exam was on February 8th. I never opened the book before May 9th, and I never opened the book after February 8th. It just took me 9 months to crack this examination. And the first of all, the whole credit goes to the first person. The credit would go to my mother, because like I had a problem with the food, as well as in especially winter season I had some medical issues. So the only way I can make it is like I asked my mother to come with me and stay in Hyderabad throughout the coaching center and cook for me. She did enough to come to Hyderabad, and we took nearby only. We took a 1 BHK flat, and we stayed here. So the first person, the credit would go to my mother, leaving my father behind and coming with me for these 9 months. And the second person, that credit would go to my father, because he is a businessman, and my mother had been a major helping hand in my father's business. So when my mother came here, he would obviously suffer. Like they have a very good environment set up for the business, and I just disrupted the environment. So like that happened. And the second person, my father had a little trouble. My father's mother came and cooked for him. I would like to thank her, and my father's brother also, for helping him in the business. And the third, credit goes to ACE Engineering Academy. So as you know, all the subjects of computer science, whatsoever it might be, OS, computer organization, compilers, TOC, I have never even heard these names before. I have never even heard these names before. What I all know is engineering, thermodynamics, strength of materials, fluid mechanics. But since working in Infosys, I had a little interest in coding. Then I thought, why don't I give this GATE computer science paper? So the only thing I can think of is not short term, nor online, nor anything. It would be better for me to opt for this Spark Batch ACE Engineering Academy, because like I was in the online videos and all, I was told that you will be taught from scratch. And it was like that. It was actually like that. So I am coming from mechanical background. For the first 2 classes of TOC were like Greek and Latin to me, but eventually I caught up. So the thing I want to say is, ACE Engineering Academy, the faculty and the facilities they provide, the material they provide, and the way kind of support they provide is very good, such that the person who don't even know, not even studied the 4 years of engineering of that branch, could come here and write the exam and get a reasonably good rank. The fourth person I would like to thank is my friends. Sometimes some friends will be there that don't try this, don't try that, and you will end up with nothing and all. But most of my college friends, as well as Infosys friends, they were like, Funny, you quit the job. You will do better than this. We have the confidence in you. I was fortunate to have that kind of a friends, very positive friends, to tell me that quit it, quit the job. And the fifth, and my manager also in Infosys, he was also having so much of confidence in me that, Funny, you will get it. He was like that. And the fifth person I would like to thank is typical Indian society. Why? Because since I have quit my job, I don't want to take there will be so many people, like, I don't want to say, but in society there will be so many people who will be just watching you, and they will be thinking that you have quit your job. Let's see what will happen to you. If you success, they will only appreciate. If you fail, they will only humiliate. So that's the typical Indian society. I don't mean, sir, to say bad or anything about it. So those people I have in mind, and that gave me a kind of fear, which made me to run towards very good rank.
Okay. So you responded positively. You're a proactive person. So I can easily guess a mechanical guy quitting a job and trying for GATE computer science, definitely will have lot of mental and psychological pressure. But what he said, the support of the parents, the support of his gurus of ACE Academy, and moreover support of the best friends. So that made him to acquire this particular great achievement. Okay. For example, you said operating system and other things. When you started afresh, how you have done that?
Yeah, I do remember operating system. My computer science friends were telling me operating systems was one of the toughest subject ever. And the first day in the class of operating systems, Mr. Khalil Khan, I think he just spoke 2 to 3 sentences regarding himself. Then the first question he asked with the students is like, how many people are from non-computer science background?
Okay.
And the first question he asked was that, and we raised our hands, and we told him that we are people are from non-computer science background. And he told like, don't even think that you can't crack it and all. Even there are people who have done it in the past, and you can manage, not a big deal. The first day itself, like asking us that question and clarifying our doubt and getting rid of the psychological fear was
so the
good.
sir also could support you morally, Khalil sir.
Yes.
Even last year we have seen one computer science candidate in our institute took coaching and he cracked engineering services also.
Oh.
So vice versa.
Where
there is a will,
there is a way.
There is a way. So you people are solid examples for that. Anyway, so while classes are going on, how you used to revise the subject, or daily how many hours you used to prepare self-preparation at home?
Okay, there is one particular strategy I have followed. During class hours, I used to prepare only for 3 hours a day, not even 1 more hour on any particular day. Post class hours, when I have 24 hours a day, I prepared exactly 8 hours. I kept a timer, and it's only 8 hours. And after 8 hours, no matter what that particular day's schedule is not even done, I will stop studying. Because what I want to specify is, so many of my friends are there, they will just go to the library and sit for hours and hours and hours long, trying to mug up and trying to study. But you can't actually stress your brain. I don't think you can. See, at max you can go up to 10 hours maybe, concentratedly study. Then more than 10 hours, I don't think so you will be able to concentrate. For an age of 22, you are not Swami Vivekananda. No, I am not. So it's like for normal people, 8 hours is the maximum concentration span. And you are asking about revision, right? I would like to specify one particular thing, if you allow me. So there is something called forgetting curve. You just try to research in the internet. There is something called forgetting curve, and it will be something like e to the power minus x. Let's say you learn a concept today. You know it 100%. See, so many people will answer in the class because they have learned it right then and there. But the person who will be topper is the one who writes in the exam. So the forgetting curve will be something like that. You learn it today, you will learn it 100%. But the next day, how much will you retain? You will retain around 70%, maximum 70%, minimum 50%. After 1 week, how much will you retain? 30%. After 1 month, how much will you retain? 10%. If you don't revise it or do anything, that's the usual forgetting curve that will follow. That from today, it will go on like that. You will forget the concept that way. It's normal for every student. So what you need to do about this forgetting curve? This is forgetting curve is the problem. We will forget. We are humans. So what you need to do? The technique that I used is spaced repetition. You just research on the Google it. You will get it. The technique is called spaced repetition.
Spaced
repetition. Spaced repetition. The technique goes as this way. Since your forgetting curve goes this way from 100% to after a month 10%, what happens is, whosoever aspirant that is, I beg you, every day post class, go to home at least 1 hour, no, at least half an hour. You take the book and see what the lecturer have taught. That
On the
have
same day, first.
you might know, we all engineering students, during even my engineering, one day batting. You know what I mean by one day batting. Tomorrow exam is there, tonight I will study. But for
For a
gate
competitive.
preparation, I have not done one day batting. I have done this every day post class. I used to go back and at least for a half an hour, whatever that is taught and whatsoever the problems that were told, I will revise it. And if you spend 1 hour for today's revision, spend half an hour for yesterday's revision.
Okay.
And spend 20 minutes for 1 week before revision.
Excellent.
Spend 10 minutes or 5 minutes for 1 month before revision.
Okay.
So the forgetting curve will go like this, and your spaced repetition will make this curve go up and up and up like that.
Okay.
So your forgetting curve is normal psychological phenomena. You need to use this spaced repetition. You spend 5 minutes for 1 month back what happened,
Okay.
and 20 minutes for 1 week before happened, 1 hour for what today happened, and another half an hour for what yesterday happened.
Okay.
That's how you retain the subject.
Arey, yaar, Madhusudan, you give a great concept. Even actually, I learned a lot from you. Great. So, my dear students, what he says, for that falling curve, you have to make a balance. So, revision is the essence.
Obviously.
Because we are human beings. You see, definitely we will forget. Yesterday, what happened, 100%, we cannot retain. Of course, unimportant things we have to forget. Then only we'll be happy. But important things which is related to our career growth, you should go on revising. Great, Madhusudan. Okay. So, how you have used this online test series?
Online test series did help me a lot.
Hmm.
The first thing I want to specify about the online test series, that there is one top rankers column in the online test series.
Yeah.
I don't know about the remaining centers test series. For ACE, they used to take our photos and keep those photos in the top 10 things. So every time I write a test and I get anywhere around top 10, and I go to that particular column and see myself
Position.
in there, it's like a positive feedback for me. That's first thing I want to specify. And obviously the quality of the test series is very good, and the solutions are very good. Sometimes there are video solutions, and actually I didn't do every single test of online test series, but I future aspirant, don't make that mistake. I started at somewhere around September or October. I could only cope up with 1.5 hour tests as well as full length tests. So like if you start much earlier than September or October, do start before 2 months or something. No matter what rank you get, you just give that 25 marks test. Half an hour test will be there, 1.5 hour test will be there. No matter what rank you get, you just give the test. And another important point of online test series is the analysis. Analysis is the obviously most important thing ever. See, GATE is an examination which is a little bit different from IIT JEE and other things. IIT JEE, every year there will be new models of questions, but in GATE, there will be some repeated models. I'm not saying there won't be any new models. There will be new models, 1 to 2, but some repeated models will be there. Repeated models will be there, previous paper questions will be there. So, if you are not getting any model of previous papers, you need to panic. I mean to say panic in a positive way, and learn that immediately. Make sure that you understand that concept.
Okay, so how many times you have revised the previous GATE questions and solutions?
I have revised. I would advise everyone to revise it 3 times, doing every single question, and another 2 times marked questions. Like when you are doing it,
some selected questions.
See, so many people, if they get 100 questions out of 100 questions, if they get 90 questions right and 10 questions wrong, they will be happy that they got 90 questions right. But I don't think so that you are supposed to do, because a lot of subjects lies in the questions 10 questions which went wrong. 90 questions which you got right, you might get right it in the examination also. But if you got it right by a guess or a fluke, then you need to worry about that question which you got right also. But the remaining 10 questions, there is a lot of subject and concept in the questions which went wrong. So, and which questions which went right, and the concept is critical and important also. So you mark these questions. You either bookmark it, you star mark it, you triple star it, whatever your wish. But make sure that you come back and do at least 2 times this previous year questions which were marked.
Okay. Have you prepared any short notes like that?
Of course, I have prepared short notes like that. Short notes will be individual. And short notes, some people, I see the short notes, they will just, you have the normal notes. You compress the normal notes and write it in a small letters and make it short notes. That's not how you are supposed to do. I think that's my personal opinion. That's my opinion. You can, if the concept is very, very important, you can put it in the short notes. But the major content of the short notes should be where you are going wrong.
Yes.
Where you are going wrong, where you are doing the mistake, that should be the major content of the short notes. Because see, let's say you are writing 12th class, F equal to MA, everybody will remember. But the model and the concept and where exactly you are making a mistake, that should be in your short notes. Because some critical models will obviously pop up in GATE examination. So you might have done that question right in somewhere around, August or something. But the exam is in February. And the number of times you might encounter the model is made twice or thrice. What if you forget that model? Or that minute point will, so minute important point, not I don't want you to catch every single minute point. If there is a small point which is corner, so you make sure that you write it in the short notes, especially where you are going wrong, not where you are going right.
Yes. So the things which are really important and typical questions,
yes,
where we are likely to commit mistakes, we have to focus them in short notes, so that before exams, so we can revise them and we can be perfect in the exam hall. That is the very purpose of short notes, not writing the things which we can easily remember. So where we will go wrong, those are to be kept in the short note. This is your opinion, na?
Yes,
very good, very good. Okay, Madhusudan, what is your suggestion to future aspirants? Of course, you gave a lot of information.
Okay, apart from this, I would like to tell you 3 more techniques. See, everybody studies 12 hours per day. But why is only some people are getting very good marks? I think so many of my friends have, problem with the way in which they learn. The way in which they learn. You need to learn how to learn. You need to learn how to learn. And I would like to specify one most important technique I have used, and obviously that particular study technique had made me Air 7, and that technique is Pomodoro. Pomodoro technique. I have used like anything from May 9th to until the exam is done. Every single day, the 8 hours I counted with the help of Pomodoro technique. Basically, Pomodoro technique,
please.
To explain, Pomodoro technique is as simple as it can be. You can't study at a stretch.
Okay.
You need to study in breaks and breaks. The 1 hour. And after 1 hour, I used to take a 5 minutes break. Again 1 hour, I used to take a 5 minutes break. Again 1 hour, I used to take a 15 minutes break. Again 1 hour, I used to take a 5 minutes break. And breaks are absolutely necessary. I specify it, no matter who comes with an argument. I am ready to argue. Breaks are absolutely necessary while you are studying. Unless you are some Einstein or something. I am telling about normal people like me. Breaks are absolutely necessary. You need to break your study hours into with breaks, and make sure. Doesn't matter. I studied for 8 hours, and I advise you can even study with 6 hours. Why? Because even the 6 hours you study, make sure that your mind is on what you are studying. your mind is wandering somewhere and book is before you, no matter 24 hours you spend this
No
of
use.
no use, absolutely no use. That 8 hours and 3 hours during classes and 8 hours what I have studied post classes, every single minute my mind is on the book. It was never outside, like, my mind was not wandering. That's why I studied not more than 8 hours.
More than
The,
sufficient.
8 hours was enough for me, exactly, because after 8 hours, even if I try for 9th hour, my mind started wandering. I was like, I can only concentrate on 8 hours, but make sure that whatsoever 8 hours I am concentrating, make sure my mind is concentrating. No, my mind shouldn't go nowhere. It should concentrate. That 8 hours, it should do it. And that was the Pomodoro technique. You should take a break, and it's not it's not me first telling you, or I just invented it. It had been there since a long back. The point is, nobody follows it. You have apps for that also.
Apps for that.
In your smartphone you will have the timer apps and all. You can use the Pomodoro technique, and please do use Pomodoro technique. Not even for this examination, whatsoever examination it might be, it helped me a lot. Like, out of my study techniques, give the first rank, I will give to the Pomodoro technique.
Good.
And the second technique I would like to explain. I have two more techniques, sir. Second technique I want to explain is Richard Feynman's technique. Richard Feynman is a Nobel Prize winning scientist, physicist. Okay. He worked in that Fukushima project and all. He was a really cool guy. So he had one technique. He used to teach physics in Harvard and other stuff. He has one technique where he says, whatsoever toughest concept you think, imagine a situation where you are facing another person and the another person doesn't know what you are talking about. Try to explain him in layman terms. Basically reteaching in layman terms. If somebody is not there in your house, you think there is someone. And try to explain it in layman terms. And the third technique I would like to specify is rubber duck debugging. So rubber duck debugging is almost similar to Feynman technique, but rubber duck debugging was almost same. But where I learned this technique is when I was coding. So what happens when you code is, people will be stuck with a program and you don't know where it's going wrong, but the output is not coming. The programmers will relate with me with respect to the problem what I have said. You will write the code and you will never you don't know where it's going wrong. So the technique goes this way. You actually buy a toy rubber duck, put it in front of you, think the duck is alive and it's talking to you, okay, and explain the duck your code. In the what happens, see, the answer lies within you, but you can't catch it. So what happens during this rubber duck explanation is, you try to explain what you have learned to some duck, and eventually you will strike. That practically happened with me. So when you are explaining, thinking that rubber duck is actually listening, I did this, oh, I went here wrong.
Okay.
That you will realize. And that's not even only for code. I think it works for other concepts also. When you're doing a problem, this thing will also use. But I seriously suggest use Pomodoro. Whatsoever aspirant, whatsoever examination it might be.
Not only that, the first, second and third, or at least one of those two, second and third. Really, see, once you try to teach to others, you will learn.
Yes.
Learning by explaining, learning by teaching.
What happens is, most of the time we won't find other people who will be listening to us because they will be knowing something else.
Of course, I've seen in Three Idiots movie, I think, one topper never used to help his friends.
Yes.
So, such things will not work. So, if you try to help your friends, indirectly you are learning, you are gaining. So, this is what that second and third techniques.
Richard Feynman, he absolutely says, don't even use one technical word. Try to explain only in layman terms. Because when you are trying to explain layman terms, you will understand it better.
Yes.
The only layman terms.
Yes. Even one of our professor, Dr. V.M. Rao, sir, used to guide us in the same manner. Fantastic suggestions. Anyway, what is your future plan?
I am thinking of two institutions, sir. Actually, I never thought of post gate. Okay, I was expecting a rank.
Definitely, I think you'll get an IISc Bangalore, IIT Mumbai, anywhere you'll get.
I am only thinking of these two institutions. I have worked on AI in Infosys. I would like to pursue that. I have worked in R&D department in Infosys.
Okay.
I have worked on AI projects, and AI is absolutely amazing. It has a lot of mathematics into it, and I am a guy who loves maths, who love math. So I think I will pursue somewhere there only.
Just I ask one question, particularly with final year students who are writing GATE computer science aspirants, particularly. I know there are several good colleges, government colleges, NITs, every good college. See, they are placed at 3.3, 3.6 or 4. And they are joining some service-based companies. I don't want to mention the names. But they have the potential to crack the GATE exam and do MTech in IISc, IIT and fly high.
Yes.
So, what is your advice to them?
Oh, if you really want to pursue higher studies, please do. Please do. See, I'm not saying like by studying for 2 years you will go, you will do wonders and miracles and all. But what I am saying is, if you are studying in these topmost institutions now, you will get ample number of opportunities and ample exposure. See, you are going to a war with the real world. Would you go with the weapons or would you go barehandedly? The weapons are nothing but your skill sets which you have gained in these universities. So if you are joining in, even I don't want to mention the names, if you are joining in a service-based company, and I myself know there are so many friends of mine who have the potential, but why to take risk? But if you don't take risk, you will go nowhere. They're stuck, and they will be happy with what they are getting when their potential is more than what they are getting. So if you are not happy with the job, better quit the job. Quit the job. Quit the job and do the what you like. What you like. Eventually, you will go somewhere. But don't be stuck in a job which you hate.
Because even I have one personal experience from our ACE Engineering College. One girl got a campus placement with some 3.3. She got somewhere around 120 rank, and she has completed her MTech with computer science in IIT Chennai. She was well placed and she was very happy. What she says, when you have the potential to crack GATE and join prestigious institution, don't settle.
Yes.
With,
don't settle.
Don't settle with.
Never settle.
With, jobs where packages maybe 3.3 and where growth is not going to be much better. So whenever you feel that you have a potential, inner potential, why don't you try? So that is what I think from you. You also am learning because you quit the job after working for 1.5 hours. So that shows.
For me, I was fine with the job. But I just wanted to make, I was fine with the job because I was in R&D department. And the projects were good. I was learning a lot. For me, it's a different story. I was fine with the job. Still, I wanted to do more and I have quit. But if you are hating the job, you must. Yes, you must.
Okay, very good, Madhusudan. So, I suggest all my students and even teachers also to listen to the interaction with this Madhusudan completely, because really it's an eye-opener, not only to students, even to the teachers also, because we have to guide the students. So, Madhu, I'm really happy.
Thanks.
So, because your advice will be very useful to everybody. Okay. God bless you.
Thank you.
Right.